As we reach the end of 2020, DC Comics is also reaching the end of its current crisis level event Death Metal, which by the final issue will usher in a new look at one possible future of the DC universe with the 2-month-long event series Future State, which takes current books like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and shows what all these characters and stories will look like in a possible future, with such status quo changes being like Tim Fox becoming the new Batman of a Gotham under a dictatorship, a new Wonder Woman taking up Diana's mantle,
and a Superman who now fights in the gladiatorial arenas of Warworld.
While we know this event will run for 2 months only through January and February, what comes after that? Well, thanks to DC's March solicitations being revealed recently, we finally know what will become of the DC Universe post-Death Metal and post-Future State, and that is Infinite Frontier. Now, Infinite Frontier isn't a reboot like many assumed and even still assume it is. It is what is being referred to as a refresh, and unlike the New 52 or Rebirth before it, Frontier is actually continuing books with their current numbering and storylines. So Superman continues with issue 29, Batman continues with issue 106, and so on. What is changing up is many of the stories which are about to be told, since as theorized in the final issue of Death Metal, Wonder Woman, who
as of issue 6 she's wielding the anti-crisis energy
against the Darkest Night, will die, sacrificing herself to ensure the Earth and the multiverse are reborn. And from the looks of things, she seemingly succeeds, setting Earth back to what it was before Death Metal, with a few changes here and there, which we'll see in all of these books that will be continuing with their current stories and plots. Infinite Frontier will be getting a one-shot in the form of Infinite Frontier issue 0, featuring work by creators including Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns, Becky Cloonan, James Tynion IV, Jolie Jones, Aletha Martinez, John Romita Jr., and many more. Infinite Frontier sets up storylines for the next year of the DC Universe and beyond, with Flash writer Joshua Williamson spearheading the story, something I myself am very excited about given how much I really love his Flash and Batman Superman books. Williamson has described the book as a framing device for the next year in DC, all told through the eyes of Wonder Woman and the Spectre, who may be inhabiting the former Amazonian warrior, as the story picks up immediately after Death Metal to get the ball rolling on a few of the bigger DC stories. This new refresh also comes with some new and interesting writing teams and even new books, which now I shall go through and give my thoughts on them, breaking them up into the families they more relate to, so Batman family, Superman family, and Wonder Woman family. First up we have the Batman family, and Batman will be continuing his stories with Ghostmaker and the Scarecrow through the main ongoing, which will still be written by James Tynion. Along with this book, James also revealed that he'll be penning a Joker ongoing, which interestingly enough sees the clown prince of crime hunted across the world by a soon-to-retire Jim Gordon, who looks to fulfill one final case before he ends his illustrious career as a detective. Batman Urban Legends, like the name suggests, deals with all the legends Gothamites hear about Batman, and a new anthology series written by Marvel Legends Chip Zdarsky and Matthew Rosenberg, as well as Stephanie Phillips and Brandon Thomas. Stephanie Phillips isn't going anywhere either, as she is delivering us a new Harley Quinn book, one of the few books going back to issue 1, which will follow on from the stories James Tynion has been building with the character in his Batman ongoing, and have Harleen try and atone for all of her sins of the past and help Gotham for a change. Infamous DC character murderer Tom Taylor will be taking on the Bat family this time as he tackles Nightwing over in issue 78, delivering a much needed refresh to the character, redonning him in the black and blue as he battles a man named Zuko, a name he is very familiar with since that name is also the name of the man who killed his parents. Ram V returns to Catwoman again, continuing his beautifully drawn crime drama as Catwoman turns to Riddler for help with a ghostly new foe. Detective Comics also returns to its legacy numbering and under the very competent hand of Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora, who will be delivering us a follow-up to Peter J. Tomasi's stories that dealt with the election of Mayor Chris Nakano and his ever-growing anti-vigilante sentiment. For Batman Superman, Joshua Williamson is passing the baton off to Gene Yang and Ivan Reyes, who intend on bringing characters from the old Superman and Batman radio serials into DC canon for the first time ever, telling a story of Batman and Superman we have never ever seen before. Teen Titans is getting a much needed overhaul as well by writer Tim Sheridan, who is turning the book into a school drama a la the X-Men, with the new group of Titans being taught by some of the original Teen Titans in the Titans Academy, led by ex-Titans members Nightwing and Starfire, and even Red X will show up to put the new team to the test. For the Batman family, I find some really great things here on the horizon. All the currently announced books seem so new, but also familiar at the same time, and I enjoy that many of them are spinning out of the wonderful work that James Tynion is doing with the characters, so I'm very much looking forward to pretty much all of this stuff that's going on in the Bat family and in the Gotham side of the DC universe. Next up is the Superman family, which is also undergoing some major changes, as Philip Kennedy Johnson will be taking the reins of both the Superman and Action Comics ongoings, continuing the plot lines Brian Michael Bendis put forth, while also forging his own path in the Golden Age plot, which he describes as a Death of Superman level event that aims to put Superman back in the foreground of the DC universe along with his son Superboy, who will factor in a major way into this story. What's interesting here is that both books will be more interconnected than ever, as the Golden Age story will be running between both Action Comics and Superman, along with a very cool new series of backup stories by Becky Cloonan, which looks to dive into the inner workings of Metropolis and her people, while Michael Conrad continues his Midnighter story that he set up in the Future State event. Like how Batman has the Batman Black and White anthology series, Superman will be getting his own series in that of Superman Red and Blue, led by superstar writers like John Ridley and Marguerite Bennett, who along with a group of other writers and artists will tell a slew of unique and different stories detailing the Man of Steel's exploits both on and off Earth, all throughout his career. Continuing on from Death Metal is Crime Syndicate Issue 1, written by Andy Schmidt, who will chronicle the origins of the new version of Earth 3's most ruthless villains, while Brian Hitch provides a backup story detailing the horrible origins of Ultraman. Ram V continues his horror-centric storylines with Swamp Thing Issue 1, a new 10-issue series that doesn't star Alec Holland, but Levi Kamei, a young Indian man who becomes the new Guardian of the Green and must face a supernatural desert legend who begins committing murders. After Tom Taylor wowed everyone with his Suicide Squad stories, Robbie Thompson looks to take over the team and rebirth it as Peacemaker takes over as leader of a new Task Force X under Amanda Waller, looking to recruit the Court of Owls super assassin Talon and even Superboy. All of the Superman family and their adjacent books sound super fun, particularly Superman and Action Comics being more closely tied together. Bringing back backup stories from many of these books, not just in the Superman family, is such a great move on DC's part. It gives the reader a bit more value for their money and allows writers to expand the world we wouldn't usually see in a full issue. So I'm looking forward to a more expansive and deeper DC universe now. The Flash returns with a new writer in issue 768 under Jeremy Adams, as Wally West decides that after the horrific events of Heroes in Crisis and Death Metal, it's time for him to retire his cowl. But Barry needs his partner one last time. Moving on from Superman, Brian Michael Bendis takes off in Justice League issue 59, which thanks to the events of Death Metal, Infinite Frontier, and surprisingly Endless Winter, the new Justice League finds Black Adam and Hippolyta joining their ranks, teaming up with new members like Naomi, Green Arrow, and Black Canary as a threat from Naomi's alternate Earth arrives to destroy her new world. Justice League Dark also returns as a backup story by Ram V again, as Merlin returns with a new threat for the heroes to deal with. Although sacrificing herself at the end of Death Metal, Wonder Woman returns in Wonder Woman issue 770 by Becky Cloonan, as the hero awakens in Valhalla, where she must live and die in a constant state of battle with the many hero Vikings that live in its halls. Wonder Woman's book will no doubt be quite important to the overall Infinite Frontier plot, seeing as how intrinsically tied she is to its creation and this new world's creation. So I'm rather excited to see her adventures in Valhalla, as well as her impending return to the land of the living, whenever that might be. Infinite Frontier definitely sounds like it's living up to what its main architect Joshua Williamson called it, which is a refresh. Lots of these books, while continuing with their pre-Death Metal storylines, all look like they are being reinvigorated, with exciting new creative teams who have refreshing new angles to show us on all of these characters. The return of backup stories to a lot of these books has me excited since, as I said before, it deepens the lore of the DC universe and gives us some much needed exposure to lesser known or hardly written about characters and locations, ones we only see in the background of bigger scenes. There is no doubt that more books might be revealed in the coming months, and if they're anything like the already revealed books, I think we're in for a fantastic ride.